72.
Hello, and welcome to Star Wars Grey Market. We're back, episode 4. What's up, groovy dudes?
Oh, about to play some War of the Stars and Josiah is a bat.
Yeah, that is... I'm not gonna say low tier, but that's... We've been making fun of chaotic energy tweets, that's all.
Yeah. I mean, look, cannibalism...
No. So, we need a warm up. So why don't we warm up by remembering what we've done so far and what we've achieved? Well, Jack got shot in the leg.
I need a new leg.
And then out of the leg.
Yeah. I need a new leg. A Star Wars story. That's where we're at. All right.
And you have found out where Aronta Regal is, because R5 has a package for her. A package which you actually had a tiny glimpse of. It appeared to be some kind of spooky crystal.
Weird. Never heard of any of those before. And
No.
Yeah, not at all.
No.
They're completely new to Star Wars.
If anyone had any doubt that Star Wars was science fantasy, it's how much crystals there are in it.
Yeah,
Everything is crystals.
exactly.
And it's basically Final Fantasy at this point.
Yeah. You found out where she is. You've got to go rescue her. She's at the Imperial Consulate on Alderaan. You are at Alderaan. You're actually at Jack's family's manor. And you've been dealing with the in-laws for a while.
Yes. More of an estate than a manor.
Well,
but not to be nitpicky or anything, but
and you're kind of planning how you want to go about dealing with this. You want to try and get in contact with the rebels, but the rebels in Alderaan have left. I mean, the card-carrying rebels, at least. A lot of the population of Alderaan are, of course, pro-rebellion, but the rebellion hasn't really started yet in grand swoops. There's not been some great battle. So it's the beginning. But you're trying to find a kind of pro-rebellion person who could help you. And I believe the talk was go and see about the University of Alderaan, because that's where a lot of the protests are based. And that's kind of your plan, so that you can plan how to siege the Imperial Consulate and rescue Aronta Regal, and then go take out the Star Destroyer.
That's right.
Cool. Very cool.
I believe that my last words of the last session was, "Can somebody fix my gun?"
yeah. And I believe my words of the last session were, "Can somebody fix my fucking leg, please?"
Well, that's awful appropriate, because as, that's the last line of the Star Wars crawl.
Can somebody fix my fucking leg?
As the camera zooms in, it's zooming in to the doctor that you consulted with last time, installing your leg, Jack. You're in a little medical facility. The devices he's using are equal parts scalpel injector and welding torch. Your kind of right leg has been amputated at the knee, and you have a prosthetic installed. This is very bare bones. It's, fancy looking. I mean, it's Alderaan. It looks nice. It's made of alu steel. It's durable, but it really does just simulate the bones and muscles. But it more looks like the bones that would be in under all the leg. And as he's kind of attaching it all, and you don't even need anesthetic. This is super high tech stuff. The doctor would go, "Well, if you had time to stay, I would encourage getting full physical therapy and coating this in a layer of synth flesh so it blended in nicely, but I know that you have things to do, and you'll be jetting off before long."
Yes. Thank you, though. It looks neat.
You can do a little like wiggle at the ankle.
Yeah. And it functions seemingly.
It functions better than some prosthetics. You know, in Star Wars, some prosthetics are really clunky. This is essentially a kind of prosthetic where you're gonna forget that you have a prosthetic. You know, that's kind of the plan for that.
Good. I'm gonna roll my pant leg down.
Yeah. So you just
rather
have
put
like
my pants back on. Probably is more likely given
uh,
where the injury was. But yeah,
and you know, it would be a bit weird walking at first as you're kind of taking those first few steps, noticing how heavy the one foot is. He hands you, you know, the various pills, and is like, well, you're going to need a Bacter infusion twice every day when you wake up and when you go to bed, and all of this stuff.
Right, that I promptly forget.
Yeah, you promptly forget. You just take the prescription drugs and forget about it.
Yeah, basically. All right. Well, thank you, Doctor. I appreciate it. It seems to be like it'll work quite well. Thank you.
And, of course, thank your family for paying for this procedure.
Yes, I will. They did, you know, they did get something. Well, my father got something out of it. My mother's not too happy about it, but he did get some nice speeder bikes. It's not a fair trade at all, and I definitely need to thank my mother, especially for humoring my father on that.
Well, happy trails, Jack. Try not to get robbed again.
Yes, I will avoid robberies and robbers and robbing and people named Rob. Have a lovely day, and I will.
You'll walk out
sometime
of
soon.
the operating room.
Yes.
And head back. You know, there's Voka with a newspaper. Oh, well, you're done now. You can head back. You can't, you know, get your gun repaired, Voka. You don't have the money.
How much do you need?
No, I need 350, I believe.
375, I think.
375. Okay, cool.
I have 200.
I do not have enough to cover it, so it's fine.
Okay.
I have 26.
We should also roll for Destiny.
Oh.
This was when?
Yeah.
Please roll your Destiny dice.
Ooh.
I'm loving it.
We're not over yet.
Oh!
Rats.
Look, man, this is the first time I've ever rolled for them.
No, that's amazing though. 4 to 1 is actually phenomenal.
That's dope.
Yeah, 4 to 1's really good. That is a great omen, you know, because you get out of the operating room, you get out of the surgical office, and you get in, you know, whatever speeder you've borrowed from your father to go around town in. You know, it's a midlife crisis car.
Oh yeah,
incredibly glossy and shiny. And I imagine well, you tell me what you'd want to do. The only kind of quest hook I have for you is to go see the university, but there's the possibilities are not endless because life is finite, but they're like nearly there. They're nearly endless.
Voka.
Yep.
How much more firepower do you think we need to take on a Star Destroyer?
He just stops, looks down at the blaster pistol he's got now, looks at his shoulder. A lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I might need a few more legs after that.
Crab legs.
Ooh. Ooh.
By the way, thank you for letting me driving and letting me drive directly after I had a surgery. This is very nice.
You're the one that insisted on driving immediately after being shot through the leg.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I can't talk very well, but I mean, driving's fine.
I just look at
Get off the road, asshole!
and someone does that, Voka just looks at them.
I'm fucking walking here.
I do like the idea that Alderaan is just New York, which is why it got blown up. Anyways,
Oh,
that's a joke that you could have not made about. And like,
Let's
even
move
2
on,
years
shall we? Where are you going?
Anyways, what do you say we go and figure out how to make money so that we can actually put a little bit more firepower on our ship and fix your gun?
Your ship already has a fuckload of firepower. You're not going to be able to get more.
I don't
on
know.
This vessel.
I don't know. I think we might have some explosives that we can bring on board.
You have a missile launcher on that ship.
Yeah, I know. By firepower, I'm not saying more guns.
Oh,
Saying more ammunition, my friend. More ammunition, more things that if we, for instance, need to go on board of a Star Destroyer, for example, we would be able to explodify it from within.
big thing that go boom boom.
Big boom.
I
boom.
would. Why don't you give me a Core Worlds check, Mister?
I mean, I'm very delirious right now, but that sounds good.
Boy, I am ready for you. Alderaan is a pacifist world.
Yep.
You're not going to find anything like that on Alderaan.
No, it's why we need money.
If you
Dang
leave and fly around, you'll give up that you've been here,
Yes.
and you are a known. Your ship is known to have escaped Grey Market.
Yep.
Just all things, you know. You this might not be the best time for that.
Yep, fair enough.
Right now, you're under the radar and in a safe place. Unfortunately, Alderaan is a bunch of fucking pussies. They're a bunch of pacifists. So they won't be the people selling you a casual giant explosive. That doesn't mean you couldn't maybe wrangle it one way or another. But
There are many ways to make booms.
mm-hmm.
And we have a mechanical engineer.
You do?
Yeah.
Yes. Believe it or not.
You
we
also
do.
know if when you get back in contact with the baby rebellion, which is a small size rebellion, not a rebellion made of babies.
Are you sure?
Is this like a baby Yoda tie-in?
Then they you know, right now the rebellion is guerrilla warfare and stuff, even more so than it will be later. Are you thinking about gorilla babies now? Good. I'm a storyteller. So finding the rebellion's current base would also help.
Fair enough. What are your thoughts, everyone?
Am I with you guys right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think they might not know you are. Maybe you're in the back of this speeder, like under a top.
Okay, I just assumed I was still at the house. So okay, great.
That's yeah.
Continue. I have nothing to contribute. I just wanted to see
I think you're the expert here. Just point me where to shoot.
I hate being the expert, especially while on drugs. It's not a good look.
You'll be fine. Orientates you the right direction. You'll be fine.
So you're in the right lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know, why don't we go to the university? This will be fun. I mean, they won't notice that I'm on drugs. They'll just think I'm a student.
Swoosh.
I'm gonna drive.
I
us
mean,
to
it
the
is a
university.
pacifist
Why?
world.
Alderaan University is beautiful. Like you'd be flying around Alderaan City, and it, as I described last time, is a beautiful place. Architecture is one of the most important things to this world, and it's all swooping organic shapes with a lot of trees and plant life built into the architecture. You know, it's like a garden city almost. Alderaan University is no exception. It's got its own kind of campus, which is kind of hovering above / inside of other parts of the city. And it has one massive central building with steps on it that would be where the protests usually are. You know, there's some anti-imperial graffiti around, which it's all around. It still somehow looks good. And everything
stylized.
is
It's Banksy. It's not just
exactly.
subway. Yeah.
And-
There's like one guy that does shitty subversive graffiti that's like world famous. Like that's the Banksy of this world.
And it's a clean place, even though it's a bunch of students. It's a very clean place, with birdsong and music being played and little cafes. And I imagine you're gonna ask around, or are you just gonna fucking waltz on in and like go to, you know, find like how hoomst do you want to tackle this one?
I mean, like, does there appear to be any centralized location where this protest material seems to be?
The steps of the university would be where
Right.
protests happen. There just isn't one happening right now, but you've like
Right.
seen it on like the news and
Yeah.
stuff. It's famous. Yeah.
Okay. Then in that case, I would go to the steps, even if there wasn't one happening right now, and just see about people lingering around this space, because there's probably people who are lingering around the space expecting there to be, you know,
People
Maybe.
who are aligned, anti-imperial.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are. There absolutely are. There's also just people, there's just students, like, having their lunch and going about their day. But there are a few anti-imperials, and they would be wearing like badges that show their allegiance and stuff like that, as you know, exactly how you would notice at a student protest. But why don't you give me a vigilance check, one of you?
Vigilance? That should probably be you, I would suspect, Voka.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Vigilance is in combat thing. Wait, is it in the normal one as well?
It's in the normal skills, bottom of the general section.
Oh, there it is, right down the bottom. And you've got it all set up?
Mm-hmm.
God damn it.
Well, you got a random advantage you can use on something.
The next roll. Give it to the next person rolling.
Okay, you're keeping watch. You're keeping watch around all of this, and you know, to Voka, who you know, this kind of place is vaguely familiar. You know, this is very Republic inspired. There would even most likely be a Republic insignia in this grand, like before the steps, but now it's very faded, and all the art's died down.
Okay. Probably just admiring that then, getting distracted by the missing the old days.
You don't talk much about the old days.
They were good and then they weren't.
It's often the case.
So what's this? Some kind of fucking library or something? Where are we right now?
You have not been paying attention.
I
to
just
anything we've
sit up from the back,
Oh.
like under
I
a
mean-
blanket or something.
Hi, Gratz.
Was he the whole...
Yeah.
Okay.
mean,
What
he
happens
was-
when you fail a vigilance roll?
Yeah. Yes, I need to, like, wake up or something. What's the Star Wars equivalent to coffee?
It's called, I think it is just called cafe.
Yeah, there's something.
There is, and you
I need
absolutely
to wake
believe there's a cafe joint like right across the way from the
Yeah.
the main university building. And it's also,
It's a
you know,
university campus.
this is a university campus. And it's also a very student-focused university campus. So like it's very open plan. Even the building behind you, like you're on the steps, and that's kind of an old-style thing. But if you were to go in, it would be like open communal areas where people are studying and playing like sabacc and food halls and the student bar and stuff like that.
Yeah. Does there appear to be anyone who's like looking at us at this point?
You can make me a vigilance roll.
Vigilance, not perception.
I'll allow perception. Now you're like actively looking.
Yeah. I'm wanting to like actually like really consider looking around. Do I? Am I getting the?
You're getting a blue. Yeah, I'll put that on.
Lovely. Let me know when.
It's ready. Yeah. What you notice is, the group of 3 people, 2 humans and a Rhodian, students that are clearly anti-imperial but are not protesting. They look almost worried. Voka is clearly a soldier. You very quickly get the impression that there's maybe been some violence against protesters. And that's why there isn't any protesting going on, and that's why they look kind of worried. That's what you would get. And so those protesters, those anti-imperials, they are kind of keeping an eye on you. But you also notice, just kind of from the glint of the window, high up in one of the other buildings, like across the courtyard, there's a man in like dress robes, like staring at you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Dress robes, are they like university type dress robes? Like, are they?
They look like comfy old man robes from here.
Comfy old man robes. Right.
Classic.
And this is in the building across the way.
Yeah, you would imagine that would be maybe where some professor offices are. It's like a kind of fancy tower. It's a little less studenty.
Right. Okay. I'm not going to say anything necessarily, but I'm gonna give Voka a symbol to just hold. And then I'm gonna walk over to those students first. And then I'm gonna look to the window and see if that man is still staring at me. Is he staring at me? Is he staring at Gratz and Voka?
It's too far away to be able to tell something like that.
But he's still looking.
He's still looking, yeah.
He's still spooking. Gotcha. Okay. So in that case, I'm just going to walk up to the students and just approach them and say, "Hi there. Notice you're looking a little worried. Everything okay?"
What do you want?
Well,
any way we can help you?
Maybe. Do you know who that guy is who's staring at us from the window over there?
They would look. They wouldn't even like notice immediately because they don't have the eye that you have for trouble. That looks like Professor Valdez. That's where his quarters are.
Huh, interesting. Do you know anything about him?
What are you?
What does he
cop?
teach? No, absolutely not.
I'm gonna need you to give me a deception. No, charm or whatever the charm equivalent is. I don't remember.
It is charm. It is charm. I guess.
I'm gonna need you to give a deception roll. Surprise, you're a cop.
Surprise! You've been a cop the whole time.
All right, charm. It's neutral, which is about what I'd expect. I am currently wielding a weapon, which I imagine not many.
Yeah, and it's obvious as well.
Do cops carry firearms? On
Alderaan, they carry mostly stun batons.
Okay.
Can I do an insight to the anti-imperial thing, people to realize if they're worried about us that way? Because I technically am wearing something that has a Republic symbol on it. I just don't have it showing right
that's what Jack figured. Like, yeah, they are worried about you guys being violent as well.
Yeah, I more meant he didn't tell me that though. So can I do an insight to see if?
You can work that out. Yeah.
Oh, okay. In that
by
case,
the fact that Jack went over there without you, you probably figure that he.
Voka will like readjust his jacket a bit to show a bit of the Republic symbol.
Oh, do you want to give me a charm roll? I'll give you a blue dice for that.
Sure, might as well.
I've set it up.
Oh my god!
Very nice.
That's the
And that's perfect, because that's actually how the rebellion operated, especially in the early years, is little secret symbols and things, and just that slight, I'm gonna show my Republic symbol on my armor. They kind of relax slightly, and one of them will say that, look, Prof. Valdez, he organized the son of the anti-imp protests, but he got shot for it. One of his students went and shot him.
One of his students.
He's a professor of politics. Someone didn't agree with him.
That's often how politics are, it seems. But all right, that's good to know. Thank you. And I assume by your more open speech, you figured out you don't need to be worried about my friends over there. But
they shrug and vape as students do.
Yeah, well, I can relate with Professor Valdez then. I just had my leg replaced after getting shot by an Imperial. So
they look down.
Anyways.
Because this robot foot can't really get fit in a boot.
Yeah.
Not your current boots anyway, so that's the tell.
Yeah.
wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Yeah. I just
Wiggle.
just had surgery this morning. Anyways, thank you for the info. I'm gonna maybe go talk with Professor Valdez and see what he can tell me. But well, I hope you folks enjoy your afternoon. And if you do think of anything, if you do think of anything and you want to help out, we'll be around.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk back over to Voka and Gratz and then just say, all right, we need to go speak with Professor Valdez.
Lead the way.
You might want to keep that not fully covered, but covered a bit. Obscured is the word that I was looking for.
Rearranges his jacket again.
Yeah. And Gratz? Not in the walls this time, maybe.
Well, as long as they don't try to kill us,
Yeah.
I have no reason to go in the walls.
Well, apparently
But
he
the
was.
Second that someone starts trying to kill us, you better believe I'm going in
All right.
the walls.
All right, you know what? I think that is a fair trade, honestly. But I will note, be vigilant. He was apparently shot by one of his students for political leanings. So there is going to be some Imperial sympathizers here. So don't be too open about being completely against it. But do be a little bit. As I said, be obscured. And
you go up the tower, you get in the turbo lift, because this is a tall tower. This is a freaking.
Now here's the question: do I know how many floors up he was based on looking at the outside of the building?
Sure.
Okay.
Also, you could go like Professor Valdez's office and stuff like that.
Okay, perfect.
You can work out
There's
the
actually a
information.
sign?
I was just about to say there's got to be a directory or something.
I imagine he just turns and looks. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And you.
That is how Jack was doing it. I will be honest with you.
Swoosh up. When you get up to the right floor, there's this nice foyer that has these window that overlooks the city and the university, and a balcony with trees and things on it. And the office door is open with this guy standing there looking at you. Noticeably, he is in his comfy robes because his arm's in a sling. With a few buttons and blinking lights on it. He is a man in his prime, probably like 40 or 50. Brown skin with kind of speckles of a faded grey and short curly hair. He carries a non-threatening wisdom. It could be maybe threatening that he's like, he's right there. But he's like, I figured you out immediately from all the way over there,
Yeah. Professor Valdez, I assume?
That would be correct.
Nice to meet you. My name is Jack. This is Voka. That's Gratz.
What's up?
And he actually does drink his coffee. in his other hand and just kind of steps aside, letting you into the office, which is both office and living quarters. But the way to living quarters is open, but there's also a way out onto that balcony, and he would kind of not sit. A bit anxious. The room is beautifully designed with all sorts of pieces of high art from different planets, but all very peaceful planets. There's no warriors. Right. It's all art of dancers and things like that, and lots of books, lots of old books. And he says that you carry the walk of the rebellion with you.
I carry the walk of someone who just got his leg shot off.
I can relate to that.
Yes. Well, I'm sorry that you were shot. It's never fun.
It isn't something I expected to come across in my career, but the tendrils of the Empire have infected even the youth of Alderaan now.
Seems that way. Seems you've got some. He kind of nods his head towards the three who are sitting out on the steps, who aren't being tainted by its...
almost everyone on Alderaan is against the Empire. That's why we've only got, a small consulate of them here. Managed to keep on trading more or less. That keeps the planet afloat. But... anyway, why have you come here? You have a purpose. You're not just sightseeing.
No.
You're too old to be looking for a place. The university.
Well, yeah, I've kind of passed that point in my life. Out of curiosity, how connected are you with those who outright resist?
I'm not gonna be flying an X-wing if that's what you think.
No.
But
I figure you're a communicator.
Sometimes I'm told things that others aren't privy to. Because you don't know what was going to happen. Eventually the Empire will grow tired of Alderaan standing against it.
Were you told anything about the individuals who decided to vacate from their very safe location on the mountains?
There's never going to be a safe location for the rebellion on Alderaan. It's a planet of anti-imperials. We've been looking to leave for the longest time.
Yes.
The new facility finally was completed enough to move what supplies they had.
That's good. They're safe?
Oh, of course.
Good.
We need their help to blow some Imperial shit up. So if you could just tell us where they're at, that'd be swell.
Oh yeah, we are going to be trying to take out a Star Destroyer in a couple of days.
I cannot assist you taking lives.
Yes.
Stormtroopers and the crew of Star Destroyers and X-Wings are just other misguided youths taken from planets like Coruscant.
I can understand where you're coming from.
Are you fucking serious?
Yes.
I mean,
I can understand.
Misguided youth is one thing. I've seen straight up genocides happen at the hands of those white-clad bastards. Are you serious right now?
What Gratz is trying to say is we're still going to go and try and blow up that Star Destroyer. And I understand your position, and I respect it. I do. We still need to get in contact with whatever small force there is that stands against the Empire.
Ooh, you're going to need to make a skill roll. But I need to look at the stat sheet to work out what skill it would be, because I haven't memorized them all yet. It's a negotiation. I am going to give you a blue for Gratz's little burst of
That's good.
Passion.
Because I am not very good at negotiation.
Of course, you do have a lot of light side points.
Yeah, now we might as well. We have
Fuck
side
it,
points
sure.
for
Let's use a light
days.
side. Let's use a light side point and upgrade. You want me to do that on mine?
You
or
do it
you
on your end, yeah.
Okay, cool. Upgraded. Boom. Negotiation. Ready to go?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's interesting.
It's
Very
interesting!
interesting.
I don't know what to make of that roll. I really don't. I really don't know what to make of that roll because the triumph, like, I mean, the 3 threats. What on earth am I gonna be doing here?
Okay. You do so. You say this very, just matter-of-factly, hoping to get some assistance from him, and he does nod. The Moon of Commonor, Folor, is where we've moved to. We can hide our movements of ships amongst all the cargo vessels that fleet around that planet quite easily. The rebellion is growing the supplies of ships as best we can. I can tell you're a pilot. I can tell you're wanting to fight. If you go with them, join the fleet. You're responsible. There are too many rebels out there that fight in the darkness for light. You join the fleet and you do things right. And everyone could be held responsible. And we could take care of the Empire.
Okay. Thank you. I
Now, is there
appreciate
anything
that.
else?
Well, what do you know about the Imperial Consulate?
Quite a lot. We've
I don't
protested
doubt that.
outside it many times. And I know many of the staff who still go and use it as a hunting lodge. It's still operating, only for those who are okay with breaking bread with stormtroopers.
Right.
You're planning on going to it?
Yeah. Yeah. There's someone there we need to get out.
Look, I can't encourage you going in there and shooting the place up.
Not
I
planning on
also
going in there and
know
shooting
that
the place up.
They have some heavy support there. I do have one suit of stormtrooper armor that we used during protests.
You have a suit of stormtrooper armor. How did you acquire that?
It was already damaged. It was being thrown out. It's currently got some colorful language painted upon it. But with some cleaning, or maybe not. You look around the right height for a stormtrooper.
I don't know if I should be... All right. No, you make a good point. That would be a good way in.
That's the only way I can help, but I would...
No, that would help immensely. And as you say, you can't recommend that we go in there shooting up the place, and I don't want to. There are, as you say, people who are willing to break bread with the stormtroopers there, and it would put them at risk as well, and that's just not responsible.
Let me get that for you. You, big guy, I'd appreciate your help. My arm... and...
Voka, if you don't mind.
would bring
You'll
out...
notice there's a certain sort of like reluctance to. It wouldn't be anything that people who didn't know Voka wouldn't notice, but he's definitely not happy at the moment.
You go in and bring out... It is a set of stormtrooper armor. It's beat up. It's graffitied with, anti-imperial propaganda. It would be the kind of thing that's kind of put up on like a stick and waved around, or maybe someone dresses up in it or something. But you're an average height male.
I am. You're not wrong.
You
I
are perfectly to fit
exactly
in a,
average height.
stormtrooper armor.
Yep. I am not a little short for a stormtrooper.
No, exactly. There's the unsubtle version of the reference that I was making.
Correct. Yes.
So you're free to go with that as your blessing, as a possible way.
That is
Well,
good.
I think before we actually leave, like just when we're about to leave, Voka would stop, readjust his jacket a bit to show that he's got the Republican insignia, and turn around. Just, you may think your pacifism is the noble way, and I may be more inclined to the fight than I should be. But they are killing people by the millions. A few of them have to die. And it's going to turn back around and leave.
Okay. As you leave and you get in the turbo lift, the camera turns to the desk of this guy and a small beeping device, a flashing device under it that is whispering a little bit of static. Y'all, how do you want to continue?
Well, I need to use that triumph in some way. So I think it's just going to be...
Well, that triumph I kind of used in you getting the most information. Okay. Unless you got something small you'd like to add.
Well, I was just going to say the extra bonus of reducing the difficulty on the next check if it relates to...
It almost definitely... Doing, but... You know, it will relate if you dress up. And that's immediately what you do.
Yeah. Basically, like, the idea is reducing the difficulty to make this armor as clean and as neat as possible for Gratz to help us fix up this armor. Okay,
that's perfect.
That's the idea.
Because you want your disguise to be good. That is a good idea. Let me look and see what role that is. Would you go back to the ship and do that? Because the consulate is far enough away that you can take a speeder to it.
Yeah, we would probably need to, I think.
Yeah, that's fine. There's no issue with that.
Yeah.
You know,
it's either that or a warehouse workshop, but I don't really want to involve my family in that.
No,
it's
exactly.
Yeah.
There's no skill that's really good for this, so I will actually make it a skullduggery because you're essentially making a disguise. We're going to reduce the difficulty 1. Which is still going to be 2 difficulty because it is shot up and decorated and all that. And whomst of you wants to do it? If someone's helping, you know, you can get yourself a blue on that.
So I have 1 point of skill in skullduggery and 3 cunning, so like it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination.
I think that would make
I imagine
the best.
it's between Gratz and myself for sure, right? Do you want me to roll it and you help, or do you want to roll it and me help?
That's how I would do, because it's whoever has the best rolls, and you have better than Gratz. So that earns you a blue.
Okay,
I've set it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's a success.
It's a pretty straightforward roll, weirdly enough.
Yeah, perfect. It is a pretty straightforward roll. You clean it up, you get all the graffiti off it. Luckily, you know, laminate armor is actually really easy to clean. The way it's made. It's really easy to clean. There is still a hole in it. The hole is also in the chest piece. It's kind of low down. You know, whoever was wearing this got gut shot, kind of. But maybe you can't fix that hole without even if you do, it'll look like there was a hole there. So you're still gonna have that, but that's the kind of thing you might be able to bullshit. You know, you're just gonna need to maybe prep a story for why you've got a hole.
Yeah.
Just
while you're still
take
standing.
me as a prisoner with you and say that I shot you.
Why am I bringing you to the consulate, though?
Because you're a slaver.
But I'm...
It's the perfect cup.
Gratz.
That's
one
so
day
good.
You will realize that
What is a consulate?
Oh, okay. This is where the confusion is coming in. Okay. A consulate.
I don't know what that means.
Okay. It's essentially a location of diplomatic communication between 2 political groups. Usually one is not from the location where the consulate is, and the other is from the consulate location. So an imperial consulate would be, in this case, essentially an imperial station that would enforce things like trade between the Empire and Alderaan. They would also be the first point of contact for any diplomatic communication. It's a diplomatic location. It's
And
not
that's where they're holding
Yeah, Carrie would be.
our pal there.
Yeah, Carrie would say, yes, they're also keeping prisoners.
Well, either you could take me in as a prisoner, or just a little fun thought for you. We start a riot, little protest action. You know, no one's gonna notice someone slipping out on the side while the building's burning to the ground.
May I offer you some additional information?
Please do. Thank you. Yes.
They are
Always.
looking for R5, and he has a fake restraining bolt. R5, like, recoils slightly at the suggestion. But
You're
What if
not
we
wrong.
collect the bounty and then try to get out with the droid?
it would be
And
very
the pris-
easy to convince Imperial officers that Gratz is some kind of dirty mechanic that you got the droid off of.
I mean, I literally am a dirty mechanic.
Yes, I was stating facts.
It's hard to tell with you. You have such an air of mystique about the way you speak. But in any case, I concur with her hypothesis.
Voka?
Look at it this way, Voka. If things go wrong, you get to kill a lot of Imperials.
I believe that's exactly how we sold you on the last plan.
And look how that worked out.
Perhaps I and Voka could stay outside of the station, and when chaos inevitably ensues, we will have a
Chaos?
support outside of the consulate.
That's a good point.
Just don't shoot the walls if that happens, because you know where I'm going to be.
We may have to blast through a few walls, so
That's
I'll just
fine.
give it a couple knocks first.
Yeah, just make sure it's not a supporting wall or a Gratz wall.
I'll try.
Eh,
Carrie, how are
I'll
you
take
feeling?
those odds.
I feel nothing in a conventional sense.
You know what I
I
mean.
am
How-
at prime combat capability, more
Glad to
or
hear.
less, 95%.
All right.
But the hits you took, impressive.
My neural harness was undamaged.
Sorry for almost launching you off of the side of a building, by the way.
I was not aware that this happened.
Was
Was that the plan?
Not you. No, the plan was to launch that security droid, but he grabbed onto your back, and you almost went with him. I didn't think you'd
droids
get,
are beyond redemption.
Carrie,
I
don't
think-
speak about yourself that way. You're a fine droid.
That's. I don't believe that is what Carrie.
You've
meant.
never.
Boca gives Gratz a little like dunk on the head.
Okay. Mayhaps this is a great place to take a little early break so that you can start next session sneaking in.
Sounds good.
Oakley dokley. We'll be back.
And by next session, we mean after.
Yeah,
the
and after a break.
yeah.
I mean, it's a mini session.
next hour. Next
Yeah.
hour. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll take you a whole hour to get in. It'll just be a really long conversation with the guy at the door.
Look.
I know you want it. We'll be back in a bit.
Not saying it's impossible.